Hey, you guys, welcome back to Netflix and Friends. It is Friday. Now, if you haven't seen it already, and I'm sure a lot of you have, but if you haven't seen The Deliverance, check it out. It is now streaming on Netflix, and it actually came out, it debuted August 30th. So it's been out for, a little under a week. But a lot of people are talking about it. And today I do have Chris, and he will be bringing you his true review of how he felt about The Deliverance. Now, I will say that Chris is a little bit under the weather, so we are going to really bear with him. And he's been sick for a couple of days, which he's the one that suggested watching this movie. So I said, okay, great. And when I heard that my girl Glenn Close was in it, I was like, bet, definitely, because I've been loving Glenn Close since Fatal Attraction. And oh my gosh, Glenn Close, she really was just, I'm going to use the word phenomenal. She really was in this part. I've seen her in other things, but she's a true actress. The way she just killed that character, and we know that character. Definitely. If you are in the hood or you drive by the hood, there is that character. Most definitely in the hood. And she played it down to the wardrobe. She definitely played that character. Now, if you are a fan of the Exorcist movies, like I still have some, and I do recall, back in the day, like I had the Exorcist 1, 2, and 3. I think there's even an Exorcist 4. And I really liked all of them. I really did. Especially that theme song from The Exorcist that is just, it's like that iconic song, like the iconic song from Halloween, and Freddy Krueger. It's that theme song where that's The Exorcist. And I'm not really into too much the exorcism movies. And I also did watch The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and another one that I can't really remember the name of. Like the good versus evil, God versus the devil. I'm not really into those kind of movies, though I do like horror movies. I am pretty glad that I checked it out. Not just because Glenn Close was in it, and the chick that looks like Rihanna. I'm glad I checked it out. Because, I try to stay in the loop with some of the things that people do watch. But again, I am a true fan of horror movies and true crime movies, which is slightly different when you go into, those like religious cult type movies, if I'm saying that right. Those type of movies, most definitely. But yeah, if you do like the exorcisms from back in the day, check it out. Now, this is actually based on a true story, and it depicts true events. Now, the woman that it actually happened to, her name is Latoya Emmons, and she went through this in 2011, her and her 3 children, when they moved into a quiet house on a quiet street in Gary, Indiana. This actually happened. Did look a little bit more into the story with Latoya Emmons, and I decided that I want to kind of do a deep dive, if you will, and I want to kind of get more into it. I want to kind of see what was real and what was, Hollywood influenced. I really do. So I'm definitely going to do that. And it's going to be on Charlie Bacardi Dark Ideas. If you're interested in wanting to know that and me telling the story, please go and look at that. Now, so Latoya and her mother, Rosa Campbell, they reported that they would hear footsteps after midnight of someone sounding like they were coming up from the basement, which was between their kitchen and the bedrooms. Now, Campbell recounted waking up and seeing a shadowy gray figure of a man pacing in her living room. That would really have scared the shit out of me, like seriously. And when she went to investigate a little bit more, she saw these large wet boot prints on our floor. So whatever this was, it left water behind. children levitating above their beds, being physically thrown around the rooms, getting injured by flying objects. And her babies are like talking in these unnatural, deep, weird voices. And they tried to reach out to, churches around the area if they could come and, maybe like do, I guess, not a seance, right? Well, when they come and they try to cast out the demons and the bad spells, they refused to. They wouldn't come. And one suggested that they clean the house with bleach and ammonia. And they did that along with lighting white candles, wearing all white, scarves around their head, wearing all white clothes, had like the Bible open to, a special page in the Bible, I think Psalms 91. And they had Mary, Joseph, and Jesus statues. So they really was trying to do this on their own to get rid of this demonic force that was inside the house. And they said it was quiet for 3 days. Then all hell would break loose and it got a lot worse. A lot worse. So I just had to, pretty much make a mental note that I am going to do the Ammon story. So I don't want to get it confused with what you will watch if you decide to watch it, the Deliverance. But it's good. It's very good. It's very good. And yes, some of the stuff that I just spoke about, it was actually in the movie. It definitely was. So I was really glad that I saw it. The director, Lee Daniels, actually said that he sat on this movie for a while, not knowing if he should go about this and how he should go about this. But as you see, he finally did go about this. Now, Chris actually said something that just stuck in my brain. He said, like the Exorcist movies from back in the day, they always took place, overseas somewhere or surrounded by a Catholic church. And, it's always some type of, well-to-do family, a family that had money that were kind of going through this type of stuff. So as we see, devil and demons, they can invade a low-income family that's living in the hood. So it's definitely worth a watch if you're just chilling tonight, don't have anything else to do this Friday. Now, some people actually said it was scary. Okay, I'm a horror fan, so I wasn't scared, but I imagine some people, they might be a little bit scared if they're not used to, seeing stuff like this. They might be a little scared. So definitely give it a watch. Okay, so Chris, I know that you're familiar with the exorcism movies back in the day, and I know that you also don't know too much about the real family that actually had to endure this. So, how did it feel seeing a black family that was actually going through this?
I think it's more realistic because predominantly in the movies it was always white families, and I know there's black and Latino families who go through events like this.
So was it different? Was it different? We know that other races have had, situations where they encountered, demons or some type of, creatures that, never was seen before. But was it you said it was more realistic to you?
Well, the thing that was different for me was I don't think I've ever seen where a spirit can actually tether itself to several individuals at one time. Mm-hmm. So when it was able to actually possess all three kids in three different locations, mm-hmm. I thought that was definitely unique.
Okay. All right. Let me see. So overall, did you like this movie?
This movie definitely was better, one of the better ones. Not better than a regular exorcism, mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But for further movies with exorcism, it was definitely better than most I've seen. Okay, so would you suggest other people to watch this movie if they are a fan of the exorcism movies, or just watch it anyway because you just like the movie? I would tell them to watch it with an open mind, because it does follow along the same lines as exorcism. So if you're a true fan, I definitely recommend you watch it.
All right, thank you. And I know you're sick, so thank you, Netflix and friends.